live. Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. It's Dr. Cleopatra. I am here with Dr. Roseanne, as always, for the Parents Coffee Talk. And we have a very special guest today. Her name is Shelley Gawith. She's the Professional Woman's Functional Nutritionist. Did I get the title exactly right, Shelley?
Okay. You got the title perfectly.
Okay, good. I'm so glad. We're so excited you're here today, Shelley, and we know that our mamas and mamas to be are going to learn so much from you. And I would love for Dr. Rowe to do a formal introduction so that everybody knows about your incredible credentials and incredible work.
Don't mind me. Hold on. This is how we know who's Facebook living us with questions. I have my phones up, so apologies.
No worries.
This is another one of Dr. Cleopatra's and I buddies, and Shelley is as fun-loving and lovey as us two.
Totally.
So together, forget it. It's crazy. And Shelley is the one who will stay out with me till God knows when we all get together.
I will too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the last time you had your kids with us, so the next time.
That's right. That makes it different.
Those darn kids, right, ladies?
Darn kids. Yeah. I mean, I only do things when it's not work related without my kids. You know what I mean? Like, of course, it's totally work related. You know. So we get to go on these fun retreats together. And we're part of a special group of, really healers who are helping people. And Shelley and Dr. Cleopatra and I are really fortunate and blessed to be with some really amazing human beings.
It's so true. Some of the very best health professionals in the entire world. And a lot of them, our mamas have gotten to experience over the past 10 days or however many days it's been in this series. And it's been so incredible to all the things that we've been able to learn and share in this time.
Yeah, it is pretty incredible. Absolutely.
Thank you for bringing this to everyone. It's awesome.
Thank you so much.
We feel pretty awesome too. And we made a cool logo and everything really fast.
We did.
Awesome. I know we did. We're just doing it. Woohoo! So you jump in, and life is not about perfection. It's about being present in that moment. And this is really just one of those awesome things that happened. And we're so grateful to be, here helping other women in particular. So let me give you my dear friend Shelley, because we'll just start gabbing and forget all about all of her special credentials. So she is one of New Zealand's top functional nutrition experts. And I'll let her tell her story, because she's got to tell her story, because every time I hear her story of what happened to her, it just makes me think, wow. And she's somebody who in the worst of times said, no, I'm going to heal myself. And so, she struggled with her own health issues, including, she's calling it chronic fatigue syndrome, but basically it was way worse than that. And then hyperthyroidism. And she learned to heal her body through nutrition. And then she's taken that knowledge, she went and got her own training, and she's taken that knowledge and she helps people from all over the world. Well, one of her big specialty areas is corporate and professional women. Because guess what? Us mamas don't always, and women don't always take care of ourselves.
Yeah, especially when busy.
Other people. So welcome, Shelley. And I would love for you to share your story of how you got involved in functional nutrition, because it's truly one of the most powerful stories I've ever heard.
I agree.
Why you shifted. She may have been born a healer, but she went the route of investment banker first. So
that's a little bit different. We need our investment bankers too.
We need our investment banker, but she's clearly a healer.
And totally. So yes, Roseanne, you're totally right. I definitely did not get into the medical profession by choice. So my story was, I was an accountant in New Zealand, and then I wanted to move over to a bigger city. So I moved over to Australia, to the real downtown area, so to Sydney, which would have been kind of the equivalent of the American New York City. So I went and worked for the largest investment banking firm. And without really thinking about it too much, I was always kind of ambitious and just wanted to try my hardest at my job. And so without really thinking too hard about it, I got promoted and promoted and promoted until I was finance manager at 27 years of age and had a whole heap of reports underneath me, a whole bunch of stuff. And I was working extremely long hours. And I was very driven. So I was getting up in the morning, training for marathons, training for triathlons, training for like every sporting event going, work all day. My breaks would include spin class or some sort of high intensity exercise because I thought that was stress relief. Like I needed to get this stuff done. And I didn't realize there was such a thing as over exercising and that could potentially be burning myself out. And I loved a good challenge. So like 2 months out from a half a marathon, I was like, I'm going to do a half a marathon. Like who needs to train? Like you just push your body and off you go. And so that was my attitude. But I had been
foolish thinking of your 20s, Shelley.
Oh, we're invincible. I look at my young clients now and I want to take them because I'm like, you can change, like learn now. And so then I had a whole heap of health conditions, but I just ignored them. I went to my doctor and they put me on medication. So I had an underactive thyroid, so I got thyroxine. I used to get really bad periods, but I would just take painkillers. I used to get severe hypoglycemia and diabetes runs in my family, but who cares until it's a problem, right? Doctor tells me it's fine, so it's got to be fine. So that was kind of my attitude. And I just wanted to work. I got Epstein-Barr virus or glandular fever, as we call it in New Zealand. I worked from my bed. Simple solution. I got exposed to a whole bunch of mold. Didn't really even know that there was such a thing as mold toxicity. So I just kept working. I got heavy metals, but you just keep taking drugs. So it got to the point that my doctor was like, actually, like your energy's so bad, but we can't give you any more drugs. Like at 27, you're at the maximum dose of everything that we can possibly be giving you. And I do remember thinking alarm bells going off, being like, hey, I'm really quite young to be on all this medication. But oh well, like I guess I'll deal with it when I deal with it. Like it wasn't really, I don't really know. We didn't talk about diet and I didn't really know that something around the corner could all explode and could all blow up overnight where my health just totally crashed. So I just continued living. I took all my medication. I gave up gluten and I did find like I had really bad endometriosis as well. And I found that when I gave up the gluten, my period symptoms did disappear. So I was happy with that. I was fine being gluten-free. That was great. And I thought that was kind of as good as my life was going to get. And that was kind of all I knew about diet and the impact. Then I moved to another investment bank, took on more responsibilities. So now I was really quite stressed and really working hard because now I had to prove myself in a new bank. I had quite a high position. And within 4 weeks of starting at this bank, influenza, proper influenza. So not your common cough, not the man flu, nothing like that. Not when we want to like hide from our kids under the covers. It was full-blown influenza where now I couldn't get out of bed. I'd collapse walking to the shower. Like I was sick. I couldn't cook my dinner. I couldn't stand up. And so I got this, but I didn't really fully understand what influenza was. And I went to my doctor, who I used to be able to walk to, but by this stage I had to catch a cab. And so she was like, you've got influenza, stay at home and rest. 2 weeks into it, I was like, you know what? I've got a new job. Like I've got to get back to work. So I tried going back to work and within an hour I was on the ground, like collapsed again. So my boss said, look, take 2 months off. You're a liability to the bank because of your health. Let's just get you better and then come back to us. We know you're working hard. So as I was taking the time off, I was actually deteriorating. Like I'd now started to lose my mental function. I was an investment banker. I was good with maths. I could now not even add 2 + 2, basically. Like I was losing all my cognitive function. I couldn't get out of bed. And so I went back to my doctor. And at this stage, she was like, you're so sick. We need to hospitalize you. And I was like, whoa. And my parents didn't really know what was going on. They were in a different country. And I didn't really take it that seriously. Like I just sleep all day and just left it at that. And so I knew with the little bit of knowledge that I did have, if I went to the hospital and ate that food, I really would die. So I get my parents to bring me back to New Zealand. And so then my mum turns into my full-time carer for the next 18 months. So we see every doctor in New Zealand, then we go international thanks to technology. And we start, and nothing really makes me better. By this time, I can't really read. I'm sleeping for 23 hours a day. My dad has to carry me wherever we're moving in the house if I ever get out of my bed. My sister, who's an ICU nurse, is really worried because I'm not moving. And so she's like, there's going to be a whole bunch of other problems that come up because of this, because nobody should stay in bed like that. And so my parents were just frightened. They were being told again and again and again that I was going to die. And I kept saying to my parents, no, and every doctor, I'm going to live, and I'm going to live to help one person. I don't know how, and I don't know why at this stage. I don't know why this is, well, I do know why. I ignored every single health symptom of going, but I don't know how I'm going to get myself better, but I will get myself better to help somebody else. And so at about 10 months or 12 months into it, I said to my parents, one of those short times that I was awake eating, I said, there's got to be something to diet. Like, we've had food and water forever. So nobody's talking about diet with me. Nobody's looking at diet. What can we do? And so at that point, my mum found the Nora Gauges book, and was the Primal Life book. And she talks about, kind of broth and fermented foods. And I'd grown up in a family that wasn't particularly healthy. We ate some fruit and veggies, ate our meat, but we liked a lot of pasta, those types of things. Like, we weren't into lollies, so I was never allowed fizzy drinks or anything like that, and candy, but we weren't super healthy. And so my mom was like, okay, well, let's do this together. So she was like, let's introduce fermented foods and let's introduce bone broth. That's all we did. And with that alone, I could now stay awake for 2 hours. So return on investment as an investment banker, we're like way up. Like, my mom is happy because it's like dirt cheap to do that sort of stuff. My dad gets really involved and he starts making it for the household, and he like absolutely loves it, learns all about it. So my mom's like, yes, we've like started to get him more in the kitchen. He's helping his daughter get better too. Like, now the family's turned a corner. And so there was a little bit of hope. And at that point, we realized the power in food is medicine. Like, it truly became so real. But at the same time, it became so real that it became a real stress for my mum. Because my mum now saw if she got one meal wrong, my health would crash straight after that meal. So the pressure on a mum when the baby, I'm always going to be her baby, no matter what age I am.
Of course.
Yes.
See, when a baby gets sick, she totally collapsed and crashed herself. She'd just be beside herself. Like, the pressure was real. And so after that, at about that 12-month mark, we started to really be like, okay, there's something to this food as medicine. So we did the fermented foods, the bone broth, we got out the sugar, we got out the dairy, we got out the gluten. The gluten was already out for all of us. And then we started to notice that eggs are really healthy, right? But every single day when my mum would make me eggs, I would put my head down straight afterwards on the countertop and fall asleep. Like, I'd be like, Mom, I feel so tired. I feel exhausted. So we realized that eggs were causing me a huge amount of inflammation. I was really allergic to eggs. So we pulled them out of my diet, and now I could stay awake for 4 hours in the morning.
Whoa.
And then I'd sleep the rest of the day. So that was huge. And I started to be able to crawl up the stairs to the next level without needing my parents' help. So 18 months in, where now I could read like a paragraph at a time before being exhausted, it meant that I could now, at that point, I was like, you know what? Nobody else has been able to get me better. And like, I'm still too young to be only awake for 4 hours a day. So I'm going to study nutrition. So from that moment, that's when I started looking into courses, and that's when I started looking into different things. And I started looking into what functional nutrition was. And I saw that the best programs were coming out of the States. And so that's when I determined that I was going to study it. I was going to learn lab testing. I was going to learn everything I possibly could with the main goal of getting myself better, helping my family, and then just helping one person. Because remember, I still wanted to go back to investment banking. I loved my corporate life. And so that was my story. And so from there, I studied and trained, got myself better, got my family better. And that one client then turned into a whole clinic of clients with a big waiting list and an online community. So there we go.
Yeah, I know. And let's like talk about this, because like you have such enthusiasm that it's hard to understand the pain. Like, when you say you were only awake for 10 minutes, like, you could lift your head. Like, we're talking her eyes were open. And then, it took long time with changes in nutrition for your body to be like, start self-repairing. And then even in your healing journey, the food was the first part, but you also realized like you had metals and mold and There was a lot of layers in this.
So many layers. Like it was literally piece by piece. It was healing layer by layer by layer. And as I got more energy, I could go to the next layer. But it was literally, it did not happen overnight.
Yeah.
And partly because I was learning to do it on my own self, it took a much longer process.
Yeah. And I love, because, you know, the other part of this is that I know Shelley really well, and what she didn't really go into detail is her parents consulted every possible physician you could think of.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was on Skype with everybody all over the world. And at one point her physicians, you know, the physician said, like, you know, you just got to let her go. Like, I mean, as a mother, it just like breaks my heart. And I also love that you were like, I'm going to just learn it myself, you know?
Yeah. I'm going to live to help one person. I love that so much. Yes.
Yeah. You know, we all have the power in ourselves to heal ourselves. I mean, thankfully, we have people like you that can shortcut it, because you had to take a lot of time to learn all that.
Yes, that's the key thing. Like when clients ask me like certain supplements that they're on, and they were like, oh, were you ever on these things? And I'm like, yeah. But when I was on them, I needed about 10 times the amount that you're taking, because I didn't know, like I didn't have all the knowledge, and I didn't have all the shortcuts that can help you with, so that your journey, like the next client that was almost as sick as me, she was the next one that I started working with. Well, I started seeing her maybe in like September. By December, she was in Disneyland with her family.
Yeah.
So she wasn't 100%, and we both laughed. But she's like, yeah, I totally shortcut. You're like, if we're going to talk about like suffering, she's like, you suffered so that you could shortcut my journey.
Yeah.
Does that like
you give all the hacks, right? You know, just like when somebody comes to me for mental health and Cleopatra to have a baby, you know, we help them on that journey, right? But I mean, just what a story of, you know, just feel like just absolutely at the bottom, and how you and your family rose together, right?
So incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with that mother's love too, the power in your mother's love.
Yeah.
As working mothers, we don't realize how powerful the belief in our child, how powerful that touch, that connection is with our little ones, or our big ones in my case. Big, but always little in my mother's.
That is so beautiful, Shelley.
Yeah. There's nothing stronger than a mother's love. There's nothing, there's nobody that takes better action than a mama either, right? Mm-hmm. Don't mess with a mama. That's right. So Shelley, you know, like in your journey, you know, because you were a corporate woman and you really helped so many corporate women, what are, you know, in your case, you know, is that extreme version, like, what are common issues? What are symptoms? What are things that women are seeing today?
100%, like really common. And you're right, I was extreme, but when it first started happening, I wasn't extreme. I only got extreme because I didn't know the symptoms. And like when I go into corporations, and the HR managers will always ask me, like, why am I here? Like, what is my purpose? And I'm like, if I can bring awareness to a symptom when it's little, it's never going to turn into my story. And I didn't know any better, because I only knew what my parents had taught me. I only knew which the education had taught me, which was nothing. And so I didn't really know what to look for. I didn't know that my symptoms weren't normal, because a lot of us have seen Sarah Jessica Parker in Sex and the City. That was what I grew up with. And she eats ice cream and goes to bed every month when it's her period. So I just thought having really severe period symptoms was kind of normal. Right. Everyone talks about it. And Cleopatra, you'd see it with your women. Everyone talks about it. So we unite about how bad our periods are. And because we're all talking about it in the lunchroom, it means it's normalized. But a bad period is not normal. I say to all my corporate women, every single month, we are so lucky because we get a monthly check-in with how our health is tracking, and it's free. We do not need to see a doctor. We do not need to see a functional nutritionist. We can check for ourselves every single month what is happening with our health.
And it's true, the period is a vital sign. It is a vital sign, and it should be considered a vital sign. Absolutely.
That's what I think too. It's a free vital sign that we get. And if you're not getting it every single month, well, that's a vital sign in itself.
Yes.
So it's all, so the key things that I tell clients and women, especially, that you can be doing at home is tracking your period health. Check that you're even ovulating, whether you want to have children or not. Make sure you're ovulating, because it's another vital sign.
Yes.
And then in terms of day-to-day health, like what is happening, when I talk to these corporate women and all the women that come into my clinic, they're getting some sort of symptom. A lot of people are reporting to me bloating, not going poos every single day. Checking your poo health is another vital free sign that you can check
important.
from your toilet. And you can do it when you're in house lockdown. You can get out. I say get out and like stick a chat and start chatting this stuff. Like, come on. It's fun. It's easy. The whole family can do it. You're never too young to learn about your poo health. So you want to be well-formed sausages, as I like to call them to my clients so they know what they're looking for, every single day. And then,
yeah. I mean, so many people
bloating
don't go to the potty every day, Shelley.
No, they 100% don't. I had one client yesterday, now that I'm working virtually, and she said, oh, but I haven't used the toilet for 3 weeks. That's normal.
Oh my goodness. I would go crazy.
What we always forget, though, is that's normal to them, because that's all they've ever known. So unless we're out there like on our soapboxes telling people the kind of what these vital signs are and what to look for, we don't know any different. Like me, when another thing that I see all the time with my clients is they wake up needing a cup of coffee. Yeah. And I'm like, if you need a cup of coffee for your energy, there is something depleted, something deficient with your adrenal health. You do not want to need a cup of coffee. And like when I was working in the bank or even in the accounting world, you know, people that complain about the cost of coffee, right? I'd walk every single day to work with my sister, and I was like, look, sis, I was like, that $4 that I spend on my coffee is keeping me in my job. Like, that's $4, that's my salary. It's good return on investment. I don't have coffee. Even back then, in my first graduate job as an accountant, I knew the coffee was giving me the energy to get the brain clarity I thought to get me through the day. So I didn't realize, because coffee also is so normal, I didn't realize that needing the coffee was actually a sign that my brain wasn't working properly and my adrenals were exhausted. So that's like the amount of people that are like, especially working mums, that come into clinic and they're like, oh, but I've got brain fog, I've got baby fog. And I'll be like, so how old is your youngest child? And they'll be like, oh, 15. And I'm like, no. There is no brain fog or baby fog. Like, that is a sign your body is inflamed. Joint pain, like when people have got morning stiffness, when they've got joint pain, also a sign your body's inflamed. When you've made amazing changes to your diet and you still can't shift weight, major sign that your body's inflamed. So those are all things that you can come to us, like Cleopatra, Roseanne, me with, saying, hey, my body's out of balance.
That's your lane. I mean, we have people that do health coaching with our clients and whatnot, but you know, it's a lot of family health coaching.
I know. I agree.
You know what I mean?
So that's like, I'm not going there. You go there. You deal with the mamas. I'll take the children.
No, I mean, we do family.
It's like, I just want them when they're trying to get pregnant. That's when they're happy. We all love it. We all win. We all celebrate. You deal with the bloating afterwards.
You're not the person that didn't poop for 21 days, because I'm going to go, please tell me you're not on Miralax.
Oh my God.
So, and you know, and it's so funny because you talk about these things, like you're right. We adjust. And what happens when you're not healthy, it's a slow decline. If it were overnight, you would be like, something is really wrong with me, right? But when it's slow, you don't notice those subtle signs.
You almost miss it. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And they are red alerts. And now, you know, I mean, I've been healthy my whole life, but I've had, you know, health challenges along the way. And when I, you know, was in grad school, got, you know, my Epstein-Barr got reactivated and made a lot of changes and whatnot. And I'm a super, super healthy person. I take really good care of myself. And the littlest things now, not the littlest things, but I am so attuned to my body and my brain. I know when I feel off, right? Right? And then I make adjustments. This is an evolutionary process, like even us three who are very ridiculously conscientious about our mind, body, and spirit. We have to make adjustments according to life. Like all three of us right now are working really hard.
We are working really hard.
Right.
I think my experience has been, I have always eaten clean, but I have not, I've had periods where I don't sleep enough. That's like my weakness, the place where I tend to fall short. But what I will say is that I noticed that the cleaner and healthier my life is, and I am, the more sensitive I am to any little thing that doesn't fit with that, right? So, I mean, I don't touch gluten. I almost never touch dairy. I almost never touch sugar. But if I'm exposed to one of those things unintentionally, I feel it right away, because I think that's what happens when you feel so good. You notice even the slightest change that takes away from you getting to feel that good.
And do you know, Cleopatra, it's so funny you should say that, because some clients come to me and they're like, but I feel worse. Like, why do I feel worse coming to see you? And my analogy with them is when we were younger, right? Because we are like, we wouldn't do this anymore, ladies. But when we were younger, we used to go into the nightclubs. And we used to be with all our friends dancing the night away and having a really good time, and the music.
I'm not opposed to doing that, by the way.
The music's really loud. That's kind of like when your body's really inflamed. Like when most people come into the clinic and see me the first time, their bodies are so inflamed they can't hear. Like if we were in the nightclub talking, they wouldn't be able to hear us properly, right? But when we're in clinic together, and as their bodies become less inflamed, like we take away some of the inflammatory pieces, the signals or the sound gets louder. So it's like us talking in the clinic, in the nightclub is like when we're really inflamed. So everything's inflaming us basically. So we can't really hear all the details. We can't really work out if it's that food, if it's the lack of water, if it's the supplement, whatever it is. Like we can't really read the signals because our body is just so inflamed. But as soon as we get into my office and we're just talking one-on-one, they hear everything. You'd hear everything that I'm saying. And that's like our bodies. As we bring down the pieces of inflammation bit by bit, the body is always talking to us. That's the brilliant thing of it. And that's the brilliance of how clever our bodies are. And as we take away the inflammatory load, we, as the patient or the client, can start to hear all those signals. And so then forever, like you were saying, Cleopatra, we become so aware of those signals, we can tweak things. Like my first client today, now that we're all working from home and she's with all her computers and her technology and her Wi-Fi, so inflamed because of the Wi-Fi. So we could tweak that. Like I said, great, day 2 of working from home. Let's get onto this quick, smart. I gave her some tests to do and she's going to come back to me this afternoon. But we can tweak these things because she knows her body so well. I was like, hang on a second. You haven't had those symptoms in a long time. What is going on here? Where is your Wi-Fi? Where? And so we were able to answer because her health was so good. Now that changed, I suddenly knew straight away what it was and we can action it so it's not detrimental to her while she's at home. So that's the cool thing, like you're saying, where you can tweak things as soon as you're more sensitive and attuned to your body. And so it never deteriorates like mine did.
Yeah. I put my fertility clients on a pretty involved, strict regimen during the trimester, especially if they've been having fertility challenges. And one of them I was meeting with right before said, I had some dairy last night for the first time and I had such a bad reaction to it, so much worse than she had ever had before. But that's because her body has healed so much. She had such incredible inflammation, endometriosis, PCS, gum disease, inflamed throughout the body, and all of that has shifted for her. She had to be on painkillers her whole period. All of that has shifted for her. And so now, like us, having an input that isn't consistent with how strong her body is, she felt it right away. And this is one of the ways that I talk to my kids about eating clean. I don't say eat that because it's healthy or don't eat that because it's not healthy. I'll tell them your body's way too strong for that. Have this instead. Because
Totally.
yeah, because it really is about how strong.
I love that, Cleopatra.
Yes, because they are. And I'm like, feed yourself with things that are as strong as you are, right? And it's such a beautiful opportunity instead of feeling like we're restricting ourselves in some way. Like I don't ever miss gluten. I don't feel restricted because I don't eat gluten.
Me too.
So many options.
I agree with you, Cleopatra. And to my clients, I always say, like, there's no good or bad necessarily, because we don't want to talk about restrictions, but there's foods that are full of nutrition and nutrients. Right. And if we want to be having the best health possible, we want to be feeding ourselves with the best nutrients possible. Yes. And while a food will not cause you a symptom, if it's got zero nutrition in it, you are doing nothing for your body. Like exactly. It's zero. Like zero, nothing. So exactly. Why would you want to, if we've only got so much stomach room each day, why would you want to waste any of that on zero nutrition? Like, who has time for that? I don't. Me either. Like you say, we want to get in as many goodness, and like we just don't have enough stomach space for all the goodness we need anyway. Yeah. So it's not a case of restriction. It's literally like I think of myself like a machine, right? Like I want to be the best machine possible. So we need to put in the best goodness possible. And that comes from all your nutrient dense, all your nutrient rich foods. All these other foods, it's not restriction. It's just you don't have time for that. Yes. The reality is you don't have enough stomach room.
Totally. Shelley, tell us, so we already know how powerful bone broth and fermented foods were for you. So tell us what other foods professional women who want to be incredibly high functioning machines want to be eating every day.
So I always say
anything they don't want to be eating as well.
Well, they don't want to be eating anything that's causing them inflammation. So the biggest things are always like your dairy, your gluten, and your sugar, obviously. Some women will be like eggs were a thing for me, and nightshades, but that's not everyone. So if they're not causing you any problems, keep them in, because you want as much of a variety as possible. Food is medicine. So any foods causing the individual inflammation has got to go, because it's inflaming your body. So it's going to be giving you that foggy brain. It's going to be depleting your energy levels, and no corporate woman has time for that. Like we've got things to do.
No time.
And we've got no time for snacking. Like as if women need any more time, like any more stress in their lives, coming up with all these like 6 or 7 meals a day. Like it's ridiculous. Like get back some time, because you don't have any time. Yeah. So you want your 3 meals a day maximum.
2. And 2 or 3.
And it saves money. Yeah, you can go. I said 3 maximum, Cleopatra. 2 is even better. It's like efficiency at its best. Yes. Like, come on, we've got to streamline this stuff. Yes. And like everyone working from home now, I'm like, way to save money on your grocery bills. Get out the snacking. That's going to save you money. Like you write down how much you spend, and then you get out the snacking, and dollars are going to go down. Like this is like saving money. Like, come on, people. I'm about giving you the best benefits for all the different possibilities. And so maximum 3 meals a day. And how you're going to last with your meals, one to the next, is good quality fats. Yes. So fats fuel the brain. Fats fuel your sex hormones, your steroid hormones. Fats fuel your good energy like this. Like we do not want to be these roller coasters that happens when we're having all the glucose or the sugars. So you need good quality fats, whether that's plant-based fats or animal fats, but every single meal. And like for my really busy clients, I'm like, you just buy a bottle of oil, keep it in your office, and then if you want your takeaway food or your takeaway salads, drizzle the oil on top. If you like eating out, not that I love that. That's a
great hack. Yeah, like you need little.
See? Oh, Roseanne, we've got to have all these hacks. Like my clients don't have time for not having hacks. Yeah, like, that is my job.
I cut avocados in half and freeze them. Ooh. And then throw them on my salad.
Totally. Oh,
I've never frozen an avocado. So good. Except
really nice. Just use paper, wax paper in between each of them.
Okay. Except for the teething, What were you gonna say, Shelley?
Oh, what was it? Oh, wait,
it's neurotransmitter activity too for your brain functioning. Healthy fats too. So
See?
Yes.
And they make you feel better, and they give you that long-lasting energy. So those are the, like, you want the
skin. And
brilliant for your skin.
Yeah, it's multi-purpose.
And they actually fill you up. So you end up eating less food once again. Your meals can be smaller. Your portion sizes can be smaller. And just the amount of time you have to think about your food just goes down.
Yes.
It's brilliant.
It is.
Like, and then, eating wise, then those are the foods that you don't, then you just want, like, so I always say to clients, sorry, it's too much information to tell you guys.
We're all excited.
Where they have bread or where they have pasta, whether it's gluten-free, because now they've given up gluten, so now they want those gluten-free. I'm like, as much as possible, use your leafy greens.
Yes.
So instead of the bread, have a base of leafy greens with your egg and with your sauerkraut. Like always, like gluten-free options are fine for my working mums when they need it. Like when they've got home really late and life's just a bit stressful. I'm not saying not to have it, but the occasional thing that when life is busy, have it by all means. But it's not the thing you want to be having day in and day out.
Right.
They've got zero nutrients for you.
That's
so
right.
wherever you can, instead of having, and like bread in restaurants, it's always the carrier for your fat anyway. It's the carrier for your butter or it's the carrier for your olive oil.
Yes.
So where you can, just put the fat, put the oil, put the butter straight onto the food. You do not need the carrier. Get it out. So wherever you can, you want to, and I say to clients, like minimum, like I know Dr. Terry Walls, who we all love too, she kind of tells people to have like 9 to 11 servings of veggies a day. But most of my women are not going to do that. Most clients aren't going to do that. So I say as a benchmark, let's at least try for 4 to 6. And that's really hard to be getting 6 servings, 6 cups of veggies a day without getting them in at breakfast too. So there ain't no time for that bread. We've got to be getting in the leafy veggies or putting it into your smoothie, those greens into your smoothie, the sprouts, the avocados, whatever you're going to like and enjoy, the micro herbs, like anything. Like at this time of the year, we can be getting into our gardens and pulling all those out, all those veggies.
Yeah.
So the more greens you can get in, the better, because that's where we're going to get all our vitamins and our minerals.
Yes.
Soups, like you can combine, once again, stacking. I'm a big fan of stacking. Like we've got to get all these things in. Do your bone broth or do your veggie broth, but then turn it into a soup. So then you're getting extra veggies at lunch. So now you've hit the nail on the head with your broth. You've got the veggies. Put in some oil on top, and voila, perfect meal.
You got it. Yes. Well, talk a little bit about protein for us, both vegan/vegetarian, plant-based options, and then animal products.
So proteins as well, we want them obviously at our meals too, because that's really good for our muscle repair. A lot of women are training, a lot of us are training, so we want to be able to repair our muscles. We want to be able to repair our bodies, and we just for renewal and regrowth and all the good things, right? So I like them to have protein, fats, and veggies at each meal. That's kind of my rule. So we're covering all the bases.
Yes.
I'm a bit, especially when I'm going to the office. So a little bit of a hack that I do with all my corporate clients is do a smoothie in the morning. So you can get your fats, you can get your veggies. And then I use, like me personally, because I'm not vegan, I use like collagen and a protein powder. But for all my vegan clients, we use a very clean protein powder. And I encourage them to put it in their smoothie because it's a quick and easy way to do it. Obviously,
what's in there? Is it pea protein?
Pea protein.
I just want to, there's something really interesting about pea protein. We know that peas have a molecule that possesses contraceptive qualities. So there's not research to evaluate whether peas are behaving as a contraceptive, but theoretically it is possible. So I make all of my mamas take out any peas, any pea protein, just in case. And it's really interesting, but I see a big shift with the women who were consuming it every day when they go off of it. And so in terms of fertility, so just FYI.
That's awesome. That's a great FYI.
It's an important thing to know. So, and again, we don't know this for sure, but theoretically it is possible and plausible. So we just rule it out just in case. So
So what protein then what base of the protein is for your vegan clients?
Yes, this is part of the challenge. So one of the things can be chlorella. And if they're not going grain free, they can have like sprouted brown rice. However, and spirulina. However, I really do like for people to, I definitely recommend gluten free, and because that also can be a game changer for fertility, for inflammation, for thyroid function, for so many things. But I also recommend grain free as well. So if they go grain free, then our options they get narrower and narrower, to be honest with you. So
yeah, absolutely.
then it has to be like, essentially chlorella, spirulina, nuts and seeds. Those are
I was gonna say that it'd be the nuts. So for clients like that, then if they're doing a smoothie or something, or they're making their breakfast, like a seeded breakfast or whatever, and hemp seeds. I don't know. Do you have hemp-based protein powders?
Yes. And those work. Yeah,
that's what I say too. Those are my favorite. Like hemp-based ones are my favorite for my vegan and vegetarian clients.
So Shelley, when you work with people, when I'm hearing, just to recap, you really listen to them. You try to be a detective about the symptoms you hear, connect it to your expertise. I know you love doing deep dive testing, which we're not going to have time for. I'd love to have you come back just about testing.
We would love that. Yes. And I want you to do that
in an amazing way about that. Yes. And then you really help people dive through and really say, like, this is what's going on and this is what's going on. And you have such great little hacks specific to,
100%. Yeah. And that's why Rose, like, when it's turned into virtual, all my clients are like, oh, that's fine. We can keep seeing you virtually because you listen. It's always the key words. Like sometimes it'll be 15 minutes into the appointment before they'll say something. And I'm like, aha, there we go. That's it. And they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, blah, 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 blah.
Uncovering. Yes.
That was what I needed to hear. Like I'd been waiting. And these are even clients, like I had one, my appointment the last day in the office. And I've been seeing her regularly, and she was like, well, it'll be easy for us to go online because you just got that from what I said. And it's like those tweaking things where I'm listening for key things that I didn't know myself, like when I was in the bank, because we just don't know. Yeah. My job was to be a finance manager. My job was not to be a health detective for my own body. My job was, so when I then went to see a practitioner, I could have just talked, and I just wanted them to pick up what I needed to do or what was happening. Or like this morning with this client, she just said one thing, and I was like, because like we were talking about the EMFs, and then she was like, oh, I just got a bit lightheaded. And I was like, boom, blah, 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 blah. I was like, okay, here's our plan. And then she was like, that was so much homework. And I was like, you're the best energy. And I was like, so you've got to get that to me by the end of Friday. We're good to go. She's like, you're even more strict. Out of the office. I was like, I want you to go back to your office. And now, the real funny part is now that I'm working from home, clients have got no excuse. I'm like, well, you get up and you go to your cupboard and you bring that back. Or you take me to your cupboard. Like, I was like,
that's hilarious. That's awesome.
Yeah. So now I can give them all the hacks and I'm going to my cupboard. So it's kind of working. Like, it's fun. It's different. But yes, Roseanne, it's all about me listening, knowing what those things mean, and then being able to join the dots for the client. The client obviously has to do the hard work in terms of whatever, changing it,
implementation.
Yeah. Well, we'll have all your info too, but I know you also work with organizations and corporations too, but how can people best, individuals and corporations, how can they best reach you, Shelley?
Well, two things. One, my website, which is www.shelleygawith.com, or Instagram. I love going on Instagram, and like now it's like super fun. It's my favorite because there's good chat, it's fun, there's good energy. So last night I was like, you know what? I was making my fermented veggies in my kitchen last night, and normally that's not a thing, but I was like, people always ask me for cooking demos, and I'm like, no, I'm too busy in the office. No, I can't do that. And I was like, Shelley, like you're in your kitchen, like it's a Thursday night. People, you don't even have a TV or Netflix, so you can at least provide entertainment for everyone else. And so I was showing them, I was like, who doesn't want to be in the kitchen with Shelley? I was like, this is going to be a real fun lockdown period.
I know. It sounds like a regular.
That is so fun, Shelley. Wait, What's your Instagram, Shelley, so we can share it with people?
Shelley Gawith,
Oh.
FN. So Shelley and then GAWITH FN. So
Yeah.
it's going to be fun. And like I'm saying to everyone, now is our opportunity to work with practitioners, work with doctors, double down on our health, sort it out. Like use this as the opportunity that it is. We're slowing down. We're in our homes. We're with our families. Like get it sorted now. And then you can teach your whole family.
Turn towards health.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity. Well, you were just a wealth of knowledge. You know, I love your energy.
Me too, Shelley. So fun to have you.
So fun to have you. We'll definitely have you come back. I'd love to hear more about labs because I think that's such a missing element in health.
Yes,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Thanks so much, guys.
Yes,
We love
absolutely.
you, Shelley. Bye.
We do love you.
Love you
Have a great day over there in New Zealand. We love you and we'll see you soon. Bye, Dr. Rowe. Bye, everybody. We'll be back
Bye.
tomorrow at 12:30.